Hey guys, this is not the next video that I wanted to make for this channel. Not by a long shot. I don't really know where to start, honestly. So I guess I'll start at the beginning on how this all unfolded from then till now. And if I cry, I'm sorry. I'm going to try and hold it together to get this video up and then go cry in the bed while I rest. Last Tuesday, I took Doc to his pediatrician because I noticed that he was getting kind of bloated in the stomach, and his BMs were getting a little bit hard, so I thought he was getting backed up, constipated. Well, his pediatrician thought that was part of it, but him and the nurses there is like something else is going on, something's not right, and that's the way I felt too. So our pediatrician decided to send us over for a x-ray of his stomach. Well, we got the x-ray done. They called us back from the pediatrician, I would say in less than 30 minutes, but for sure within the hour, and said that he's really constipated. He's really backed up. He's just basically a mess inside right now. Well, I ended up taking him to Children's Hospital, which is in Chattanooga, Tennessee. For y'all that don't know, we live in Cleveland, so from Cleveland to Chattanooga is roughly an hour, depending on traffic and all that kind of stuff. So, me and my husband both took him last Tuesday. The rule is there only one guardian can be with the child at the time, so I went back with our son, and my husband went and sat out in the car because he could not even sit in the waiting room or the little lobby area in the children's emergency room. Well, the first doctors, we was getting there close to shift change, so I think it was a little after 5, and shift changes at 7, between 7 and 7:30, something like that. The PA, physician's assistant, that I saw was amazing. The nurses and everything was amazing that night, and then shift change comes. Well, that slows everything down, which I'm fine with. I understand tired doctors and nurses need to go home, new ones coming on and everything. I completely understand. But the new doctor come on. I love the nurses. Don't get me wrong. The nurses were amazing, checking on him. Then, once done checking on him, Mama, you need anything? Mama, you okay? Do you need anything? Well, 5 hours roll around. Actually, we did x-rays and an ultrasound, sorry. 5 hours roll around, and the doctor walks in, and he briefly flashes me with his, I don't know if it's his personal cell phone or the hospital cell phone, but he takes it out of his pocket, literally gets the picture up, flashes me like that, just quick flash of the x-ray, and says, not word for word, but to the extent, I don't know why you brought him here. It's just severe constipation. Well, needless to say, I wasn't happy. But, Mama's intuition is sometimes wrong. So, and I do not have a doctor's degree whatsoever. So, I'm relying on a medical professional, to tell me what's wrong with my child. So they sent me home to do they did an enema there as well. They sent me home to do a 3-day colon cleanse, which was 2 doses of this on the first day and then once a day for the following 2 days. But it was an X-Lax, Miralax mixed in with 8 ounces of fluids, and suppositories as needed, but they didn't. I don't think they officially put that in the paperwork, but he said I could do a suppository if I wanted to. But going back to the x-ray, Doc was a little bit scared. He did really good. They did a standing up x-ray, and a laying down x-ray. For the standing up x-ray, they actually have a little mirror that they can see themselves in. So he was enthralled with that. And then for the laying down one, he was a little bit upset. But I was able to calm him down and say, look at the lights on your tummy. You can see the lights on your tummy. It's just going to take a picture. Nobody's going to touch you, and everything. And then he was okay with that. The ultrasound, on the other hand, he screamed the whole entire time. I literally was at one point, him screaming in my ear, and I literally felt like I was basically laying on top of my child. I had both his arms over his head. Had one arm over both of his arms, and then I had my other arm over both of his legs because she was needing him to be still so she could get one certain picture, which wasn't her fault. I know she was trying to see, if anything was going on. But anyways, fast forward a couple of days, the cleanse seemed to be working. He's starting to clear out. Is it messy? Yeah, he has a blowout. Major blowout. And I'm like, okay, good. The bloating is going down on his stomach. He's having blowouts. He's feeling a little bit better. He's acting better. Great. We're in the clear. We're getting this taken care of. Well, Friday, he was off a little bit. He didn't really want to play as much as he normally does, which I thought was a little bit odd, and I noticed he was a little bit bloated, but it wasn't nothing too bad. Saturday, same thing, but Daddy was home, so he was a little bit more playful and everything like that. Sorry, I'm getting a phone call. And then Sunday rolls around, and he wakes up, and I'm like, something's not right, because he's like super bloated, and, he's like super bloated. During this whole process, he was off and on holding his stomach, going owie, 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 telling us it hurt, basically, off and on. And I told my husband, I'm like, something's not right. Like, he's having bowel movements. He shouldn't be this bloated. He shouldn't be literally screaming in this much pain. So, I took him to a walk-in clinic, and it's actually my husband's cousins, I think they are. walk-in clinic, which I love this walk-in clinic. They're amazing and everything like that. But due to some of Doc's symptoms, he couldn't be seen inside the office. So the doctor told me to do another suppository, take him home, do another suppository, and if nothing happens, take him straight to the emergency room. And, once again, I love these people at this walk-in clinic. They're amazing. They've never done me wrong in the past. Everything's been fine. So, I was still thinking it was, he's stopped up somewhere. Something's got hung, and, he's got a lot of gas, is what I figured, and that's what's bloating him up. Well, I take him home, do another suppository, nothing happens. And I looked at my husband and I told him, I said, I'm taking him to the emergency room now. This time my husband stayed at home because he was supposed to work the next day, because the next day was Monday, and with them, the one guardian per child thing. So he just stayed at home with our dog, because we didn't know how long we was going to be. Got down there. It was a completely different team since it was on the weekend. And the PA physician's assistant, she come in and she literally said, I don't know what's going on, but you're not leaving here until I figure out what is going on and we get the swelling down on his tummy. Said, this is not right. There's something not right, and we're going to figure it out. Which that whole team, ER team, nurses, doctors, everything that night was amazing. Amazing. Once again, checking on me. Mama, do you need anything? By the way, if you see me rocking and that thing, I'm in Doc's room, just sitting in here kind of reflecting and trying not to cry. But anyways, yeah, she ordered more x-rays, and this time they did actually more of them. I think we ended up doing 4 or 6 x-rays, I can't remember. And then after she looked at the x-rays, she came in and said, something's there. I don't know what it is, but something's there. And then she palpated him on the stomach, and she's like, he is so bloated, I can't feel what is on the x-rays, on the films. So she sent us for a CT scan, which Doc did okay. He did not like the contrast at all, which I don't blame him. It makes you feel funny. And by that point, he had been poked and prodded some more. He had an IV at this point, and they had his little arm and that little non-movable cast thing with a diaper on it so he couldn't pull at it and everything. So that's how they put the contrast in. And by that point, he was done. He was telling the doctors and the nurses, I done, no more, which breaks my heart in and of itself. But me and the tech for the CT, she said, listen for the airplane, because the CT is so stinking loud. And he was actually able, I don't know if you ever had a CT before, but there's little clear lines and you can see the thing spinning in it. And so he got interested in that and calmed down, and I was able to stay there with him for that. So got that back, and then she comes in, and the first thing she says is, a lot's fixing to happen. And I just kind of gave her a funny look, and she said, there's a mass. I don't know what it is, but there's a mass there. And that's when I lost it. For the first time. She said, I don't even remember what all she said. All these people are going to be coming in and talking to you. It's going to be a lot, but you just let me know. if you have any questions or anything like that. Like I said, beyond amazing. And it literally was, I don't want to say overwhelming, but it was and is kind of, in a way, like, you've got so many people when there's something like that showing up. You've got so many people coming at you at once. It changes everything when they find something like that. And just, I think within her coming to talk to me, I think we were on the floor within an hour. That's how quickly things were moving and shaking at that point. And keep in mind, this was Sunday night. So I want to say around, let's see, I think we got there at 1 on Sunday. And I think we got up on the floor around 5:30. Don't quote me on that. I'm not for sure. The only reason I know we got there at 1 is because I remember looking down at my little badge and it says the time, because they were asking me if you had anything to eat or drink in the emergency room up there. So that's why I remember the time we got there that day. But we got up on the floor. And they said, normally up here we still only allow one person, but we got special permission. Daddy can come and stay with you guys. And we were so excited. And I called my husband. I said, okay, we're going to have to stay. They found something with Doc. That's my son's name is Doc. They found something wrong with Doc. They found a mass in his stomach. We're not for sure what it is, but there's a mass there, and it's so big that it's pressing on his stomach and pressing on his lung and building up fluid in his lung. Well, I tell him that, and of course, he's upset, which he should be. And then I text him a list of stuff, hey, can you get our suitcase out? Can you pack? That way we don't have to be running back and forth from Chattanooga to Cleveland to Chattanooga a lot. So I text him this big old long list of stuff we need, stuff for Doc and everything like that. And the nurses come in there, start getting measurements, weight, telling me what they're going to be doing and everything. And all of a sudden, this other doctor come in and said, well, first off, one doctor said, you're on this floor. I think it was hematology, children's hematology radiology unit, if I'm not mistaken, is what they call it. And she said, you're on this floor, but he might have to go to the PICU, which is the pediatric ICU, if he gets worse during the night with like his breathing or anything like that. And she said, no, up there they only allow one parent, and so your husband wouldn't be able to stay. Okay, nurses keep on going, telling me what we're going to do and everything like that. All of a sudden, another doctor comes in and says, you are going to the PICU tonight. And the nurses stop and look at him saying, are you sure? Because she was just told that, it's only if needed and all this other kind of stuff. So they were fighting for me. They could tell how much I wanted my husband there. And he said, no, he is going to the PICU tonight. Well, I called my husband back. He's already started getting everything ready. We've called my mom to come over and get him so we don't have 2 cars at the hospital. She's already almost on her way, so she ends up just coming over so she can just bring him down to the hospital to drop everything off and he doesn't have to drive. Well, he gets there. I would say within 5 to 10 minutes before they're moving us to the PICU. And I mean, as soon as he walks in the door, he just loses it. And that gets me started. And of course, Doc's all worried now because he sees both of us crying and everything like that. So he's wondering what's going on. And guys, we're already at 20 minutes of me saying this, and I'm not even halfway through to where we are today. But yeah, anyways, he brought all the stuff, and then they said, okay, it's time to go to the PICU. Do you want to carry him, or do you want him to go in a wheelchair? And I was like, well, can my husband carry him since he just got here and hasn't seen him all day? Can he carry him up and I'll get all the stuff? Because my husband brought the suitcase and 2 or 3 other bags because we thought we were going to be going through diapers, and my son can't wear Pampers. Well, he can, but he can't wear them for long because they start breaking him out, so we use Huggies. So I just told him, instead of the hospital staff trying to track down these diapers, Huggies diapers and everything, just bring me our diapers, bring me our wipes, they've got enough on their plates, just don't worry about it. So he ended up bringing 3 bags. I had a bag of my own already that I'd brought with me to the emergency room. But I got all the bags. My husband got our son and carried him up. And we just went 1 floor up to the PICU. Well, they got a wheelchair to wheel him in. And Doc's got his little IV still. He's got fluids dripping and into his IV and everything. And it's just, when he saw Daddy and Daddy picked him up, he was ready. He was done. He thought he was getting to go home at that point. So we went, and my husband Bradley had to put him in the wheelchair, and I even had to stay out there while they got him inside the PICU and put the little heart stickers, they're on his back so they wouldn't pick them off, but just get him settled in the bed for a few minutes. And then I was able to go in, but I had to say goodbye to my husband there in front of the elevators, waiting to go into the PICU, just finding out basically, within the last couple of hours that what we thought was constipation is actually a tumor in my son's abdomen. And that in itself is scary when your son is, I wouldn't say perfectly healthy, but he's really no more sick than the average 2-year-old, which, yeah, he is 2, by the way. I don't think I've said that. But, sorry, I'm trying to get comfy, guys. Okay, where was I? Oh, I finally get into the PICU, and I thought, naive me, the PICU was going to be a series of rooms, like the, any other rooms, basically, on any given floor. Well, I was in for a huge surprise. They do have private rooms, but where I was led, this PICU is divided by curtains out in the middle of the open. So they say, hey mom, we're here because they found this, and they just went ahead and brought you up. So more people come at me, and more people come at me, which, I understand, they're just trying to get all the information they can as quickly as possible. But I felt like a recorder for everybody saying, well, tell me what's going on. Tell me what's happened. Tell me what's going on. And, and I wish I had a recorder to record everything that was being told to me, because I just felt like, I didn't absorb it all. Still don't actually. But anyways, we spent the night there in the general area, PICU, which the doc didn't sleep good at all. They kept coming to draw blood or just check on him and stuff. And at that point, like I said, he was done. He was like, no more, done. Everything like that. Well, as luck would have it, one of the private PICU rooms, someone had just moved out of it, so the nurses had asked if my son could be moved in there, because they seen that he wasn't comfortable out in the general area. He didn't rest good or anything like that. I know there's a lot that I'm skipping, but I can't remember. I'm running on too little sleep. I'm sorry, guys. I'm trying to get to the main big stuff. But anyways, that information came through my husband, because at 8:30, 9 o'clock, in the morning, he had come to relieve me, because I had done that night shift. So there was a lot more people coming in, and everything, and that was one of the things they said. And I know I'm also kind of getting events flip-flopped around. I can't remember if, yes, they did. Sorry, I missed a part. They decided to do the mass is sitting on the right side, pressing in on the stomach and the right lung, causing fluid on the right lung. While we were in general area PICU, they decided to put in a chest tube to drain the fluid off of his lung. They also decided to do a PICC line, which is basically like a normal IV, but I say it's better. So they put that in his right inside thigh area, so that way they could have the fluids running. It's a double header, so it looks like a V. So one could be pushing in fluids, while one is for drawing blood, so they wouldn't have to keep sticking him for blood. And so they did that out in the general area. Like I said, it's hard for me to remember. I'm running on about 2 hours or less of sleep, so it's been a crazy couple of days. But anyways, they come and told my husband that they're going to drain off fluid. They're going to send the fluid off to be tested to see if it can tell them what kind of tumor it is. At first we were thinking they're going to have to go in and do surgery and take a piece of the tumor to do a biopsy. And then they said, well, we see the fluid, we're going to sit there and send the fluid off instead. And they also said, well, if it's one of the things we think it is, it can spread to the bone marrow. So while he's out under general anesthesia, getting his chest tube and his PICC line in, we'll go ahead and get some bone marrow. So they sent the bone marrow and the fluid off. We got the bone marrow results back last night. They put a rush on it. as quick as they could. The bone marrow is clear. There's nothing that they could see in the bone marrow. The fluid, when I left this morning at 8 o'clock, the fluid results was not in. But I was going home, and I had stopped at my mom's work and to tell her what was going on, because I hadn't talked to her this morning. And I ended up, the oncology team come in to talk to my husband and have a phone conference with me while talking to him. Ended up coming in and saying, we got the fluid results back. It is confirmed. It is what we think it is. And they ended up saying, my son, who is 2, has Burkitt's lymphoma, and it's spelled Burkett, lymphoma. I never in a million years, never ever thought that I'm not looking for sympathy with what I'm going to say. Don't get mad at me or anything like that. But I never thought I would be a parent of a child with cancer. I never thought I would have to tell someone I'm a mother to a child that has cancer. I have a child with cancer. I never thought that in a million years. But talked to the oncology team this morning, got a lot of information, a lot of stuff was thrown at us again this morning. But it's with Burkitt's, it can move into their spinal fluid. So that means my son, who, keep in mind, is only 2, will have to have regular spinal taps, probably at least once a week, if not more. Starting today, he's already had one, and they're going to go ahead and aggressively treat it and start treating with chemo. So he should be getting chemo at some point today. I don't know when yet. But they're going to give him a half dose just to see how the tumor reacts to it, how he reacts to the chemo and everything like that. Since it is about an hour's drive one way for each of us, back and forth, my mom took our dog and our fish to stay with her. And we got a hotel downtown that's close by. That way we can just go to the hotel and we don't have to drive an hour and everything like that. Save on gas and all that good stuff. But we're probably going to be there at least another 2 weeks. I don't know how long. The average for chemo span for Burkitt's is 1 round a month for 6 months. Don't quote me on that. I got that from my husband, so I didn't look that one up. But that's what I got from him, and that's what he said was average. So we're looking at that and the spinal tap, and of course we got to look at just how is he going to react to the chemo, and it's been a lot to take in. A lot. And I was driving on my way home. I was actually on the interstate when it hit me, that I have a child with cancer. And I just lost it on the interstate. Driving down the interstate, I'm bawling. I'm doing really good not to bawl now. But I'm trying not to. It's really hard. And after I left my mom's work, I stopped at the bank because I had some stuff to put in the bank, and I had a check that was dated for tomorrow. But, I told the teller, I said, I have this stuff that I want to put in my account, and then I have a question. And then, we did everything like normal. And she said, okay, what's your question? And I told her our circumstances. I said, we just found out our son has cancer. We're at Children's downtown. Is there any way this check is dated for tomorrow? I said, is there any way that you can go ahead and take it? And just hold it or anything like that. And she's like, hang on, let me call somebody and ask. And she immediately, while I was sitting there, got on the phone with her supervisor at the main office and, explained our situation and everything like that. And she come back on and she said, yes, with your situation, we would be more than happy to. And then we proceeded to, she asked about, sorry, I'm getting messages and stuff. She said, she asked me, could I tell her a little bit about it and everything like that. And I don't know how long we sat there and had a conversation for. I'm sure the person behind me, because I was in the drive-thru, I'm sure they got mad, but we had a good little talk about, how this is God's plan. It's not in our hands, even if we don't know and understand the plan and everything like that. And that's the main thing, is we've got to, me and my husband and all of our family got to remember that even though this is so, I don't have the right words for it. I don't. Even though this is so, I don't want to say horrifying, but I can't find any other word that fits this. But even though this is so horrifying to be going through, it's God's plan. He planned it for a reason, There's a reason for this. We just don't know it yet. And that's something that the social worker told my husband, and he told me that, don't look at the what now as much as we need to focus on the end result, the light at the end of the tunnel. We need to focus on that, on getting our baby healthy and getting him back to the way he was and everything like that. And I think, I'm not going to say I'm not going to cry anymore, because I can't promise that. Or I know I can't promise that for sure. And I know it's going to be a rocky road. I know it's going to be a rough road. And I know it's going to be full of potholes and everything else that can be thrown at us. But I know in the end, this is God's plan. I don't know what it is yet, but my baby is going to come out on the end of this okay. He is going to come out okay. And I just want to thank everybody too. That's normally I would never ask anybody for help. I'm not that kind of person, really. But I did set up a GoFundMe page for my friends and my family. Asking for a little bit of money, because this is probably gonna be a little bit of a hardship on us. I don't know if my husband will be able to go back to work or not, because they have confirmed COVID-19 cases down there. And with his little immune system, basically going to be shot by chemo, I don't know if he'll be able to go to work or not. And he's our only source of income. So I don't know if this is going to be financially taxing for us in any way. But anyways, I'd set up a GoFundMe, and somebody asked me to set up a Venmo, however you say that. But I did not realize. Well, I mean, I have a lot of friends and family on Facebook and everything like that, but I did not realize the outpouring of love for my son, and obviously me and Bradley too, but I like to think of it as outpouring of love for my son, from all these friends and family that most of them have never even met him. A lot of them are, my daycare family. I worked in a daycare for 11 years right up until the day that I had my son. I went to work that morning and then left early and had my son that night. So a lot of these friends and family were made through the daycare association. And, you don't have that kind of bond with a parent and a child. And, you don't have it for just a few months or anything like that. A lot of those build lasting friendships and relationships. So a lot of the people that have already donated on GoFundMe and Venmo or whatever, however you say that, that's how this came to be. That bond and relationship was formed through the daycare. A lot of their kids, I had them from infants, and I watched them walk across the pre-K graduation stage. At the end of their time there, ready to go to kindergarten. If you've made it this far, we're 40, almost 42 minutes into this. Sorry guys, if you're still with me, sorry. But I just want to thank you guys so much. It means more than y'all can ever know that you're showing my baby so much love and support, and I really have no words. I really don't. Just all I can say is thank you guys. I go back down to the hospital starting my shift. Starts at 8 p.m. to 8 a.m. I don't know when I'll post again. I really don't. But this is just a way for me to be able to tell all my friends and family in one go that wants to know everything, what's happened so far, so I don't have to tell it so many times, so I don't have to text it so many times. It's just easier this way. But once again, I knew going into this we would have support and we would have love, but I just didn't know how much and how far of a reach it would go. So once again, thank you guys so much. Me, Bradley, and Doc, thank you guys so much. Yeah, that's pretty much all I gotta say. If I go on it's already 43 minutes, sorry. But if I go on any longer, I'm gonna start crying. I'm already getting hoarse, and I need to lay down and try and go to sleep and everything like that too. So hopefully soon I'll have another update for you guys. Thank you.